full feminist. You never go full feminist. But what is full feminist, I hear you ask? It's being so desperate to call yourself a feminist that you will desperately cling to some definition no matter what.
That's the only definition there is or ever was.
With the dictionary definition, so that the dictionary definition is verifiably correct. Do you agree that that is the only definition of feminism?
The Update is honored to be speaking to the acclaimed feminist and luminary of social activism, Germaine Greer. How do you define feminism, and do you believe the name of this movement matters, and if so, why?
I choose not to define feminism.
And all of your criticisms against me for using that definition correctly and properly, then you have failed in your criticism.
I think V had some words of inspiration on that.
What they did was only possible because of you.
Oppenheimer was able to change more than a course of a war. Is it wrong to hold on to that kind of hope?
I've not come for what you hoped to do. I've come for what you did.
But we'll get back to that shortly. Now, at this point, I've got to remind you, for those who weren't around to see it, about Atheism Plus. You know, when the social justice warriors did for atheism what they'd done for Occupy Wall Street.
Why are you carrying the Chinese flag?
Alright, love you.
Because I'm a Maoist. Why are you a Maoist? Like, why does this organization, this Occupy Wall Street, appeal to you? It appeals to me because I got screwed over by the capitalist system myself. I lost my job last year because I wanted to transition from male to female with my gender identity.
Possible blocks are brought up.
What's a block?
A block is this.
And what's this? What's this? I saw this earlier.
It's a point of process. Let's say we're on an agenda topic. See, I might make a point of process here.
And I'm going to block that?
You can't block the point of process. A point of process overcomes
Well, then I don't feel
everything.
good about it.
I'm sorry, Stephen. And part of why caucuses exist is to give a space for marginalized voices.
Are you a marginalized voice?
I am a female-bodied person, and that makes...
You are what? I'm sorry?
I'm a female-bodied person.
Why are you wearing the bra and the dress?
I guess I'm really interested in, like, semiotic entanglement.
But how did the capitalist system make you lose your job?
You have a boss that doesn't believe I'm a human being.
I don't... In China. How would they treat you in China if you tried to do that? If Maoism is so good?
My personal agenda, and my only personal agenda, is that this must work for everyone here to the highest good for all concerned.
Let's talk about...
Actually, I would block that one.
You blocked that one?
Block.
All the thing is, but I point of ordered it.
Right.
And then I put it up for super consideration, and it passed over the stormy seas of your block.
You see, there was this new, vibrant atheist movement, and it had big hitters in it with a lifetime of achievement. It also had a bunch of talentless losers who wanted to ride on its momentum, to ride on its intellectual coattails. So these parasites attached themselves. But how could a bunch of talentless parasites survive in such a movement? You know, when they had no particular skills or talent and didn't really bring anything to the movement. Well, they needed a shield, a subject that would put them beyond reproach, beyond criticism. Something that would give them immunity from criticism.
Diplomatic immunity!
And then it came to them. They needed to rid the movement of racism and sexism. Now, was there any evidence of racism or sexism in the atheist movement? Well, no. But that was beside the point. I mean, sure, there were lots of drama queens with their moral panics about how sexist it was to ask a girl out for coffee after they'd hung out in a bar till 4 o'clock in the morning. Or the guy with a camera on a stick, which the feminists were convinced was for taking upskirt pictures at the amazing meeting. It turned out just to be a selfie stick. Oh, the misogyny, the misogyny. Or this woman, Karen Stolznow, who raised $60,000 to fight the sexual harassment she was receiving from someone in an atheist organization. Something that the talentless moral panic brigade couldn't shut up about.
Hello, my name is Karen Stolznow. I'm a researcher and author with a PhD in linguistics. In recent months, I wrote an article for a Scientific American Mind blog in which I spoke about sexual harassment that I'd endured from a male colleague for several years. I did this to highlight the wide problem of sexual harassment in the workplace for women. As a result, my harasser filed a defamation suit against me. He's tried to bully me into signing a retraction, which claimed that I'd lied about the whole ordeal, including his ongoing harassment of me and assaults at one of our professional conferences. The only crime I've committed is not being rich enough to defend myself. If you believe in justice and in protecting victims who are bullied into silence, please dig deep and help support this legal fund. If my harasser succeeds in bullying me into silence, it'll only serve to embolden harassers and teach victims that they should never speak up, lest it ruin their lives.
Nah, turns out she was just settling scores with a jilted ex, and in the end had to put out a statement saying that he did nothing wrong. In fact, the reality was that the atheist community was one of the most liberal and progressive groups out there, and the idea that this community had a problem with sexism and racism was farcical. Now, for these people, the fact that there was no evidence for sexism was irrelevant. They were going to rid the movement of sexism, and if you disagreed with their moral crusade, that must be because you hated women. You were just a misogynist that wanted women to stay in the kitchen and make sandwiches.
The only people who would be potentially hurt or limited by these policies are people who want to be creeps. Do you want to be a creep at conferences, Thunderfoot? I didn't think so. If not, the harassment policies don't affect you.
Yeah, the parasites had their defense mechanism. Oddly, this didn't go over so well with a bunch of atheists. You know, having been through that, if they didn't believe in something for which there was no evidence, then they were a sinner. They just wanted to sin. Nah, they'd been through all that with being asked to believe in God without evidence. And now they were particularly unimpressed with a moral panic brigade asking them to believe that there was a big problem with sexism in atheism without evidence. And further, actually being labelled as a misogynist who just wanted to abuse women because they wanted the evidence. Yeah, that listen and believe stuff doesn't go over too well when you're talking to atheists and skeptics. Looking back, it was one of the most obvious hijackings by emotional blackmail ever, such that now you get places like the Reason Rally. I mean, the first Reason Rally, had no crazy conduct policy, and there were no incidents of racism or sexism or transphobia or homophobia or whatever. But now, with the moral grandstanding of the worthless parasites, they've managed to hijack this to the point where now, yes, you guessed it, the organisation that didn't have any problem with racism, sexism, transphobia or whatever, now needs a code of conduct prohibiting those things that were never seen. And further, it's just a PR gift horse to the religious right. I mean, you know how immoral those atheists are? They're so sexist, racist and homophobic that they needed to introduce policies at their conventions forbidding that sort of behaviour. I mean, why else would you need to be so vocal about introducing such policies unless they weren't a real issue in the atheist community in the first place? And you know how successful these parasites have been in diverting the movement's attention, the movement's efforts away from combating these sorts of issues. In a country that is just about to elect President Game Show host. You know what the first line of the Reason Rally's agenda is? The first line item on the largest gathering of the non-religious in history. LGBTQ rights. Oh, frickin' A. And you wonder why Trump is doing so well.
Donald Trump is a clown.
You're dressed like that, but Trump is a clown.
Yeah.
Come on, man, you're better than that.
Transphobia, things like that.
Why is transphobia the biggest issue in America?
You even get the president of the American Atheists, the guy intimately connected with the Reason Rally, saying how important it is to have this code of conduct preventing things that never happened. And if you think he's wrong, he's just so rational about this that he doesn't want to hear any opposing oppositions. He just wants you to unfriend him and not discuss it with a, I don't know, reason. Dave Silverman, oh please, let me be clear. If you aren't coming to the Reason Rally or an American Atheist Convention or to any atheist event because they/we have a policy against harassment, a legal term with a specific definition, please, 1, say goodbye in the comments section of this post so I know who you are, and 2, unfriend me. If you'd like to defend your position, or not attend the events because they don't allow harassment of people, please see the paragraph above. And then we have the Texas State Director of American Atheists. That would be Aaron Ra. Texas State Director. That sounds impressive.
Hi, I'm Aaron Ra, Texas State Director of American Atheists, and I wanted to post one more last-minute reminder to attend the next Reason Rally.
I mean, it's on his website and wiki page. I mean, the whole state of Texas, and he directs the American Atheist activities in it.
Hi, this is Aaron Ra, Texas State Director of American Atheists.
Which got me thinking, what does the Texas State Director of American Atheists actually do? Because, you know, I can smell a bullshit, vacuous, self-aggrandizing title a mile off.
Our next speaker, Aaron Ra, from Texas, is the Texas State Director of American Atheists. Yay!
Yeah, he directs nothing. The Texas State Director of American Atheists directs no one and nothing. Well, that's really surprising given the parent organization of American Atheists has less than 10 employees, and about half of the states don't even have a state director. And while American Atheists does have some achievements to its name, they're organizing the Reason Rally. It's a pretty Spartan showing. I mean, let's just take a look at the dynamic vibe around the Reason Rally, the largest gathering of the non-religious in history. Oh God, about 80% of the articles covering this are from Christian sources. Well, I suppose at least we can be glad that it's not DashCon, that fantastic Tumblr venue where everyone turned up and then they said that they'd managed it so badly that they needed to raise another $17,000 or the event would be cancelled. And in return for that extra $17,000, they would get an extra hour in the ball pit. But in fairness to DashCon, they did actually provide a ball pit. The ball pit was later urinated in. Actually, as it turns out, guess what's just appeared on the Reason Rally's website? They need to raise $100,000 to make this event happen, and with less than a week to go, they've raised about $20,000. Honestly, that's beyond pathetic. I mean, let's just put this into perspective. My crowdfunder to get a thermal camera raised about $14,000. The Amazing Atheists fundraiser for women who were real victims raised over $100,000, although that was supported by various other YouTubers, myself included. I mean, holy crap, Anita Sarkeesians, she got more than that for her first Kickstarter, the one which she completely failed to deliver on. And then she got another $200,000 to play dress up to make 5 videos about women in history. And the largest gathering of the non-religious in history is struggling to raise $100,000. Seriously, you've only raised $20,000 with less than a week to go, which is even more of an incredible irony given that Ray Bananas Prove God Comfort.
Behold, the atheist's nightmare. The banana and the hand are perfectly made one for the other. You'll find the maker of the banana, Almighty God, has made it with a non-slip surface.
Was planning to come to the Reason Rally and give away $25,000 in Subway gift vouchers. Yeah, Ray Comfort, the Banana Man, was planning to feed the 5,000 atheists. And you can say what you want about the guy. Hell, I have. But feeding the 5,000 atheists, that's 10,000% more catchy and well-marketed than anything the Reason Rally's come out with. In fact, had Ray's gathering not been prohibited because of some counter-protest laws, at this point, I'm not even so sure that the Reason Rally's going to be able to muster the 5,000 people in the first place. I mean, hell, if I was in Ray's position now, I'd be pitilessly mocking this, saying, hey, Reason Rally, largest gathering of the non-religious in history. If you can get 5,000 atheists to turn up to this event, I'll give them all an extra free hour in the ball pit. And it's a shame after the first Reason Rally, because had this not turned into DashCon Jr., it would have been ripe with opportunities, especially for someone who's not afraid to go down to their level. Yeah, guess whose idea it was to sing Always Look on the Bright Side of Life to Westboro Baptist Church at the last Reason Rally.
Always look on the bright side of life.
Because for me, nothing would be more epic than going to the Reason Rally and buying a banana.
Behold the atheist's nightmare.
With Banana Man's gift voucher and then giving it to the amazing atheist.
Notice has a point at the top for ease of entry.
Oh yeah, the banana. It's so perfectly designed to fit in so many holes. The things you learn about God. You see, Reason Rally, if you're going to do something like marketing, it's got to be funny, interesting, and attention-grabbing in a way that having the lead item on the agenda for the largest gathering of the non-religious in history being LGBTQ, FN, whatever rights, just isn't. But yeah, this is how bad things have gotten from the proud era of the Four Horsemen to the point where Banana Man is planning to turn up to the largest gathering of the non-religious in history and give away more in Subway gift vouchers than the Reason Rally could raise for their event. And this is why I hit this topic so often, because in many ways I am bitter about this. These talentless losers took a vibrant and exciting group, a movement that had potential, and they managed to allow themselves to be emotionally blackmailed by the moral piety brigade to the point where now all the movement does is make sure it bans activities that were never a problem in the first place, and then morally grandstands about how important it is to ban activities that were never a problem in the first place. I mean, hell, Reason Rally, why didn't you have a policy against kicking puppies? Because otherwise people will just think it's okay to turn up to the Reason Rally and kick puppies.
The only people who would be potentially hurt or limited by these policies are people who want to be creeps. Do you want to be a creep at conferences, Thunderfoot? I didn't think so. If not, the harassment policies don't affect you.
I mean, as it stands, kicking puppies is simply not against the code of conduct of the Reason Rally. What monsters! Sure, you can still turn up to one of their rallies. Just remember not to say anything that might be offensive, because the movement is now so infested with parasites that no matter what you say, you are guaranteed to offend at least one of them. And you can be damn sure that they will call it hate speech and harassment.